And hello everybody, welcome, good evening to OPTV Live's 1v1 Air Mech tournament in tribute to Herzog Zwei. I am Steve, I am joined tonight by RUY. We are now in the semifinals, Game E of our competition. Both of these players have already succeeded in their initial challenge of the preliminaries and did win and have now moved on. On our left-hand side, in that Black Ops striker with the green team color, is the Big Boss. His opponent over on the right-hand side is TheKhumi, flying in the brand new police striker. We are on the map Crater, and for those of you maybe not overly familiar with Crater, you do start from your base right here. You then essentially have 3 lanes to come out. You can come out through the top and try to bypass some of these neutrals here, and then have a lane straight down to your enemy's base. Your second approach is you come out, you come down through the middle, you can come in straight into this middle outpost, gain a centralized place, and again launch out towards your enemy's base. Third one that is a very popular approach is to take that bottom one and try to hide from your enemy's radar as you come across through those neutrals, come down through the bottom and head up. But currently neither one of these guys have really gone too far of anywhere. They're just trying to take control of that third close outpost.
Yeah, and right now, it's a little. Actually, I just want to comment. It's a little funny to see that the majority of people at the beginning of the game kind of prioritize on neutralizing, or at least knocking down the neutral brutes in the mid. But we do see both players have been able to take all their outposts and pretty much fully socket moneymakers.
That they have, but yeah, I mean, that is definitely something that you have to think about. What is the better overall use of your time, especially in a 1v1 competition, to worry about focusing down that close outpost, which is still being guarded by some pretty heavy-hitting units, which will make it hard for your opponent to just try to quickly take it from you, or to maybe actually start pushing out way ahead of your opponent and maybe making some ground onto that middle outpost, or breaking through that line of neutrals much sooner.
Yeah, you know what? The line of neutrals kind of prevents you from really needing to make that choice for the most part. People can't really push through or push past a lot of this stuff. So if, for example, in Chasm, a lot of people just kind of forego putting down a bunch of moneymakers and stuff, so they can actually start on that mid fight a little earlier or start to break down the bridge. But, on Crater, it's kind of the same thing, but we do see Big Boss pushing out from the bottom, actually, with a lot of tanks, and now kind of starting to distract Khumi at the top. Khumi gonna respond to that immediately, so let's see if that bottom push actually does the job that Big Boss wants it to.
It could very well, because definitely it's going to take a long time before that push is ever even going to show up on Khumi's radar. And if Big Boss can keep him this well distracted, his eyes may not even be paying attention to this bottom map. We're going to be finding out in a few seconds when it starts to enter into Khumi's radar range. I'm watching Khumi's nope, he instantly, I think, saw it
very quickly.
Wow, that is incredible awareness right there. It really goes to show the skill of a player and how aware that they can be, because that was barely onto his map, and as soon as it was, he was already on top of it. But his outpost has no more energy for healing or anything, and it gives Big Boss the entire opportunity that he needs to kill him and actually make some progress.
And Big Boss now switching to T. They are going to do a kind of weird split because they were kind of midway in between both outposts, and Khumi decides to protect the close instead of protecting the center close instead of the bottom, and he will be able to slash those tanks down. But now the Big Boss with some creeps will probably, I don't know if he'll be able to actually take that bottom outpost under control. Unit count is about even down there.
It's a rough call either way. Big Boss really needs to try to take out all those tanks that are there, thereby not giving Khumi any blue on his side at all. With that possible, that was
and the double Lexi taking its effect.
Oh, that's why I love Lexi Striker right there. And now Big Khumi trying to use the buyback as quickly as he can, but just doesn't have the funds to get back in quick enough. But somehow Big Boss still hasn't gotten those creeps over there yet, and Khumi gets yet another chance to try to regain his outpost. Oh!
Yeah, and he will. Wow.
Oh, that outpost should have so been under Big Boss's control. That was a great turn of events in the end for Khumi, and something that I'm sure a lot of the viewers were not expecting.
Yeah, if you notice one of the things that really had a big impact in that fight, I think, was the derpy creep AI, because they took so long to walk in. The Big Boss might have been able to actually grab that outpost under his control and then drop a bunch of defensive units, but the creeps didn't really walk in as fast as possible. Khumi has been able to take back that bottom and now is further securing mid, and the upkeep difference is getting even more dramatically in Khumi's favor, as it is now 32 to 45.
That it is, and really right now, Big Boss just, I mean, his one real avenue that he had that almost could have been a surefire is now quickly getting taken away from him. And it looks like he's going to essentially try the exact same thing, but now use the top lane instead of the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of TheKhumi has a lot of tanks at mid, though. That's definitely something you want to worry about. And TheKhumi has been able to scout those tanks at the top just now, I think. So Big Boss has not scouted the mid, I think, and that's something that you really need to do. He really needs to see how many. Okay, now he's about to see it. And,
Speaking of,
holy crap! Yeah, if I were Big Boss, I was like, I'd kind of be like, oh man, that's a lot of tanks. So where should I defend? And to be honest, TheKhumi holding the mid on Crater, you kind of have a lot of options as to where you want to go.
That you do, especially if you're able to make sure that your other two outposts are able to be defended in case people use one of those top or bottom lanes, and you have that middle lane to yourself. It really puts your opponent at a very bad position right now, and that's unfortunately the situation that Big Boss does not want to be in.
TheKhumi just now started to push out, but decided to do a mass hold position and pull right back, because I think he did notice it was scouted by the Big Boss, and, you know, the defender's advantage is still pretty substantial in Aramec, even after all the changes. And now Big Boss has been able to just psychologically stop TheKhumi from moving out.
And that's really is very interesting, is when the fact that you can actually see that not only does somebody stop something because they have enough units, but just from a psychological approach of just... I love how when you watch these that it's not just strictly just a numbers game or something, but there's a psychological element that goes along with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, everyone is pretty much aware of the defender's advantage. I think if I were TheKhumi, I might have wanted to take that risk, because you know, you do have the option to go all the way to the fort or to switch it in. Oh, and we do have a double push, Steve. I think you might have to get your train sound ready.
Well, I just happen to have it. Because we've got massive trains of death coming around everywhere. Both of these guys hit their unit cap. 60 out of 60 on the Big Boss, 69 out of 69 for TheKhumi. Neither one that had anything more that they could build, so they just decided now's the time to push. See what happens. Basically, you throw it at the wall, see what sticks. If it sticks, great. If it doesn't, well, rebuild.
And both players went down the exact same way, getting pelted by Seeker missiles trying to slash away at their enemy tank line. And this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen at this point, Steve.
And TheKhumi's push actually is making it to the base, but Big Boss's push is getting closer, but still hasn't made it yet. TheKhumi sees the lines, but he doesn't know where to go. There's just tanks everywhere. This is just a mess on both ends. All these tanks are here. They're busy pummeling, and Big Boss is not handling it well enough. Is it just the fact that TheKhumi's going to win because his tanks happen to just get there sooner?
Very likely so. Boss is going with kill rather than block, and I don't think it was the right decision. I mean, in hindsight, looking at this point in his life, it's so low, and it does look like he will be finished off before TheKhumi's fort gets really scratched at all, and that is it. Big Boss is going down there.
Wow, that was really something. I would have loved to see it if the two tank lines would have been getting to their destinations at close to the same time. Who would have been able to actually handle it better? Which one of these competitors would be able to handle it better? Because that was again another big base race there. Just timing was slightly off from one to the other.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I'm sorry to say, but I must admit that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. That double tank push, the double train, Steve, and then both of them getting killed at the same time. Both of them pretty much would have had the exact same outcome. It just so happened that TheKhumi had mid, was able to push out faster, quicker, and, you know, first. And there he got the win.
And that he did. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Game E of the semifinals of Mech Mania Monday's 1v1 tournament, Herzog Zwei Tribute. I am Steve. I was joined by RUY. You are watching OPTV Live. Stay tuned for Game F.